A wealthy Nigerian politician, his wife, and a corrupt doctor are behind bars tonight after being found guilty of a shocking and elaborate organ harvesting plot.
See, standing right behind me here is a court, a criminal court that once tried and convicted one of the most powerful Nigerian men. On the 23rd of February 2023, in the court number 5 in this building behind me, the case of the former Deputy Senate President,
Ike Ekweremadu and his wife Beatrice trafficked a vulnerable street trader from Lagos to London with the promise of money. They wanted to take one of his kidneys to transplant into their sick daughter. When medics at London's Royal Free Hospital rejected him, the plot began to unravel.
Barely 30 minutes drive away from this courthouse behind me, there's a mansion here in the city of London. It's said to be worth around $10.8 million. According to the same report, it was purchased by a company that is linked to the first son of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The same property was previously associated with one of Nigeria's biggest corruption investigation. Now, a few miles away, there are multiple London properties linked to one of Nigeria's former petroleum minister. Collectively, these properties are said to be worth about £10 million. Then not very far away from here is another property that is said to be worth about £13 million. This one is linked to one of the most prominent Nigerian billionaires. You see, the thing is, across the city of London, mansions like this, right, they are not rare. Many of them belong to Nigerian political elites. And then circling around them are families of immense private wealth, whose luxury often blends into the same world. You see, when most Nigerians think about japa into a place like the UK, right, what you would normally picture is them coming here to hustle, work multiple jobs, living in some tiny London rooms. On the flip side though, there's a tiny percentage of Nigerians who drive the most expensive cars and live in penthouses that are worth up to £20,000 per month in rent. So right now I'm looking at the number of properties that are listed here for rent. A couple of them that stand out for me is this 4-bedroom mansion that is listed for £4,000 per week. Basically that means £20,000 per month. In this video I want us to explore the fascinating life of Nigerian Nepo babies and also go into the level of Nigerian wealth that are stored privately in this country. I'm trying to find my way to that place now to see how closer I can get to it and just get a feel of what that area is like. Recently, one of the most successful Nigerian businessmen, billionaire Femi Otedola, he announced that he was going to be putting out this book. This book pretty much captures his experience of starting from the bottom and now he's here. But the thing is, it wasn't everybody that shared the same sentiment. As a matter of fact, the Nigerian internet space became very divided on this topic, which led to one of the biggest trending conversations so far in 2025. If you've been online, you've seen the debates about Nepo babies versus Lapo babies. Here's the story. A Twitter user called Uncle Ayo started this discourse. Basically, from his perspective, he explained that this book that Uncle Femi Otedola is about to release, he's like, bro, this book is unrelatable. And then went on to say, Femi Otedola, the son to Michael Otedola, a former governor of Lagos State, suggesting that Femi Otedola didn't start from the scratch. He would then go on to make a series of tweets exposing elite family ties across the Nigerian society. A couple notable examples that he gave. For example, Wole Soyinka, who is one of the most prominent Nigerians ever, is related to Fela Kuti, the Afrobeat pioneer, saying that Fela's father was reportedly Wole Soyinka's uncle. Then Albert Macaulay, that's the man who is on Nigeria's 10 naira note. I don't know if that note still exists. According to this Twitter user, is the great-grandfather of Fela Kuti and a grandson of Bishop Ajayi Crowther. And then Obi Asika, a major entertainment executive, is uncle to Asa Asika, who is Davido's manager. And then Obi and Asa Asika are cousins to Neto C, the Nigerian rapper whose mom is Dr. Kema Chikwe, former Transport and Aviation Minister under Olusegun Obasanjo and currently PDP National Women Leader. And following that, everybody started having a conversation about how most successful Nigerians are connected to one person or another. For example, Davido's father being Adedeji Adeleke, a billionaire businessman in Nigeria. DJ Cuppy's father being Femi Otedola.
I'll tell you guys more about that in a bit. Give me a second, let me get on my train. We need to touch down all the areas where rich Nigerian politicians and billionaires, where they've stashed away lots of money.
I wanted to immerse myself in what it feels like to live in one of the most expensive places in London. And so I headed to one of my favorite brunch spots here in Belgravia. And bro, you would be surprised how much this cost me. You see what's crazy? I actually paid almost £23. That's to show you, I don't know if you can see it, but that's to show you how expensive it is in this place. And that gives you a glimpse of the lifestyle of the elite that have access to places like this.
I came out here to tell a story, a Nigerian story that is hidden in plain sight here on the streets of London. As a matter of fact, I'm currently in one of the most expensive places in the UK. Expensive in the sense of the cost of buying a house here or renting a house here is insane. And the people that live here are more the 1% of the 1%. I'm talking royalties, some old money tycoons who have had fortunes passed down generation after generations. But surprisingly, or maybe not so surprisingly, you'll also find that some of the richest Nigerians, both politically and business-wise, they have their houses here. Let me give you guys an idea of how much it costs to buy a house in this place.
There's something disturbingly fascinating about this story. And it's not just about Nigerian politicians owning homes in places like this, but more so how they manage to hide it behind what we call shell companies. Essentially, because they want to protect their own personal identity. For example, back in 2021, there were multiple reports from platforms like Premium News, PM News, that uncovered how Nigeria former Senate President Bukola Saraki, he owned about 2 properties at least around this place, but these properties were not in his name, allegedly and reportedly according to this news. These properties were bought under offshore companies that are being managed by family members. And so let's find out what it costs to live in a place like Belgravia. So I just arrived in front of an estate agent's office and let's check out some of the properties that they have listed here. A couple of them that stand out for me. It's this 4-bedroom mansion that is listed for £4,000 per week. Basically, that means £20,000 per month. That's how much it is to rent one of these. There's another one here that's a 3-bedroom apartment and it's going to cost you about £5,500 per week. Multiply that by 4. Let's go to the section where they list the houses for sale. First one that I see already is busting my head. This one is a 3-bedroom apartment and it's listed for £8.5 million. That's crazy. The next one is 5 to 7 bedroom. I'm not sure how that works. This one is listed for £14.950 million. And the cheapest one here, that's £6,950,000. That's crazy.
Hi, I'm TV. I'm Cuppy. Welcome to my crib.
Now there's another class of elites, well, on the other flip side of Nepo babies. These ones are children to powerful businessmen. And for the most part, many of them who choose to be in public eye, they don't really hide much. I mean, mostly because their parents have verifiable known businesses like banks, oil companies, and different empires. Let's use DJ Cuppy as an example. Life in London, very public. We always see her in those vlogs and luxury apartments in nice places in the UK. Those houses and apartments, bruh, obviously they are very expensive. They're not cheap. Now let's compare that to this. So I'm currently in Victoria Station and I'm heading to a place called My train is going to arrive in about 2 minutes. We'll get on the train and I'll take you guys to a place that has been in the news for something that may interest you. According to the Organized Crime and Corruption Reporting Project, at least 20 UK properties were linked to Nigeria's president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. One of the properties reportedly linked to him was purchased by a company called Aranda Overseas Corporation, an offshore company. And it said in the report that the majority shareholder of this company is the son of the president, Sheikh Tinubu.
So I just got out of the station and I'm heading to this location.
And so I got curious, what exactly does a $10 to $11 million house in London look like?
Apparently just right around the corner from here, it's about 6 minutes walk. There's the house that is said to be tied to one of the biggest corruption scandals in Nigeria. Yeah, oh wow. I found the place. So I just arrived at the exact location that I found online. And for obvious reasons, I will not be showing the house, but I wanted to come and see for myself the neighborhood and basically the house itself, just to get a bit of a vibe of what this house is about. It was said that this house cost 10.8 million pounds back in 2017, and that it was part of one of the biggest corruption scandals in the history of Nigeria. I find it very fascinating how we can conveniently do things like this in Nigeria. It's crazy. So apparently just about 15 minutes walk away from here is another property that was frozen by the UK courts. It was owned by Desiani Alison Madueke. It's going to take me about 15 minutes to walk, but luckily for me, I'm going to rent a bike here and ride down to see for myself what really the fuss is about. You see, this story does not end here. It doesn't end with the properties. It stretches into power, how public office is used. Take for example this video. Where men that appear to be state security agencies and a mobile police were holding umbrellas for Wike's son and also holding doors, you know. And people were wondering what exactly warrants this. Are these sons now elected officials as well? A couple weeks ago, the Nigerian internet space erupted after finding social media clips of the FCT minister's son. It showed that they were living life abroad. For the sake of this video, I got curious. I was like, do you know what? Let me dig deep to see if these guys have any ties to the UK. And I found some interesting reports. For example, I found that one of the sons studied law at the University of Exeter and went on to do a Masters of Law at Queen Mary University in London. With a quick Google search, let's see how much it cost. At Exeter, it cost about £21,000 per year in tuition, and that's minus living expenses. And at Queen Mary's University, it cost about £25,000 to £30,000 to get an LLM. Education abroad is not a problem. It shouldn't be a problem. The real problem comes where the same person who controls this power and influence reportedly shuts down scholarships for people from the states where they once governed. And one thing I want to really re-emphasize, is that these areas are very expensive. Oops. They're very expensive areas. They're not cheap at all. On the quality of the houses here, see that it's not some random hood. Desiani Alison Madueke, former Minister of Petroleum, accused of orchestrating one of the biggest corruption scandals in Nigerian history. And alongside the billions that were allegedly stolen by Madam Madueke, I found out that just around the corner was a bunch of expensive houses, and I thought to myself, let me see if the news is true. It's almost like 2 minutes bike ride away. So I just got to the address now. It's a massive building. Do you know what, guys? I'm actually mind blown. You don't understand how massive this property is. Like, it's huge. It's big. Getting a small 1-bedroom apartment in London can cost you anything between 150k 100k upwards even. But if you see how massive this building is, the fact that only one person owned it, mind-blowing to me. It's crazy. The kind of things that we do and get away with in Nigeria is insane. It is so crazy. This is unbelievable. You see, this is Makoko. It's a floating slum in Lagos. You see, in this place, poverty does not just live here. It's literally floating on water. They have no access to clean water, proper healthcare, and these people are literally just surviving. Nigeria ranks amongst the lowest global human development index, and over half of the country, over 130 million Nigerians, is reported that they live below the poverty line. An entire portion of the population locked out of opportunities, while the leaders and the political elites are stashing away penthouses here, and then their children benefit from it and then use that wealth to stunt on the poor kids from which their parents are taking the money. For the sake of this video, my emotions, it focuses more
on the political elites. That's the political class, the ones that were elected, the ones that were voted and put into the offices to take care of the resources. And then there's even a darker version of this story. An example being the one that constantly reminds you the level of inequality in Nigeria. The former Deputy Senate President of Nigeria, aka Ekweremadu. The story of how he and his family lured a 21-year-old boy, a street trader from Nigeria, with the plan of harvesting the boy's kidney to use it to save their daughter's life. But then again, truth is, as parents, it's a very difficult thing to see your child whose life is at risk of passing anytime because of their ailment. And most parents will do everything to save them, right? But in this situation, the dynamic is very different, considering that this boy that was brought to donate his kidney, he came out and said, listen, I was lured into this, I was tricked into this. They took advantage of me and brought me here because I thought, oh yeah, I'm getting an opportunity to leave Nigeria, the trenches, and start a new life in this country that I've always wanted to come to, which is England. Essentially, it just paints the picture of a story of the poor being exploited to save the privileged. And don't get me wrong, this story is not about demonizing wealth. Wealth that is earned fairly and ethically, it would normally fuel innovation, opportunity, and growth. But when billions are stolen, or even worse, when the leaders build empires abroad while their citizens are back home starving, to me, that's not wealth, that's failure. And until Nigeria fixes the infrastructure, the education, governance, and justice, real justice, unfortunately, most will continue to drown in seas because of the desperation to leave the country. While their leaders, particularly the children of their leaders, are living as billionaire kids here in Europe and other parts of the world, living soft life in mansions in West London.
I'm already very tired. I need to head back home, man. It's been a long day.
This is a Made by Us documentary, and I would invite you to join our growing community by smashing the subscribe button. Check out our other videos. Peace and love, guys.